you have it. Sounds like the secret is George Webb's Double Play Meal Deal. 7 crave-worthy cheeseburgers and 2 fries. Available all season long, so you can fuel up for every game. George Webb. Our kitchen is always cooking.
Hey, it's Tom Gomond, owner of G2 Insurance Services. We love supporting our local teams and being part of the Wisconsin community. At G2 Insurance, we're an independent agency representing great Wisconsin insurance companies. That means we can help you find the right coverage for your home, auto, life, or business, not just one company's policy. We're a little old school and actually like talking with people and helping them understand their insurance. So when you're ready to call a winning team for your coverage, visit g2ins.com. That's g2ins.com. We're your friend in insurance.
For over 40 years, the Boucher Automotive Group is proud to have served Wisconsin with dedication and heart, one customer at a time. But we knew we could do even more.
In the last 5 years, we've expanded across the state, adding new locations, new brands, and new ways to better serve you.
At Boucher, growth isn't always about being bigger. It's about being better. Better selection, better service, better experiences.
Where you're going matters, and Boucher is driven to get you there. The Boucher Automotive Group. We ride with you every mile.
Is back pain slowing you down? The OAW Spine Center offers specialized care with advanced treatments for herniated discs, spinal fusion, and more. Their board-certified orthopedic care specialists use the least invasive methods, starting with non-surgical options. If surgery is needed, they provide minimally invasive procedures. The OAW Spine specialists focus on getting you back to an active lifestyle faster. The OAW Spine Center. There is a difference. Visit oawspinecenter.com.
Covering the Crew all season long on WTMJ, it's Brewers Extra Innings. Now live from American Family Field, here's your host, Dominic Cotroneo.
Just can't count them out, can you? From off the deck, down 5 runs at one point, the Brewers win 9-7 over the White Sox and complete the series sweep over Chicago. Welcome in, everybody. I'm Dominic Cotroneo. Craig Kashan will join us in just a few moments. What a comeback victory and what a signature moment on top of the pile of signature moments that Christian Yelich has had over his career as a Milwaukee Brewer. A go-ahead pinch hit home run. It's rare to find first for a guy who's been in the league for 14 years, but he marks another first off his list. First career pinch hit home run for number 22. I mean, last year we were talking about he had like 8 or 9 career walk-offs, but he had never hit a walk-off homer, and then he hit the walk-off grand slam of all things against the Red Sox last year. You'll hear from Yelly a little bit later on in the program. Him and Josh Mauer caught up after the victory, and today the Brewers get the offense going in the right direction late, but it still showed up. The leadoff batter was getting on. They were at one point 1 for 15 with runners in scoring position. Now, the 8th inning certainly helped skew that to look a little bit better because they finished this game 6 for 20 with runners in scoring position, which is certainly respectable. But, I mean, they go 5 for their last 6, I believe, with runners in scoring position in this game in order to lock it down. And there's some at-bats that we're going to talk about, that moments that you may have forgot about that helped the Brewers come back and win this game. We'll get to the highlights a little bit later on in the program, too, but love to hear from you. 855-616-1620 is the phone number. Again, 855-616-1620. If you want to call, you can text, or you can participate over in the live chat, live on YouTube on 620 WTMJ on YouTube, and also on social media. I'm at Dom_Cotroneo on Twitter, where I've got the player of the game poll, and no surprise, Christian Yelich is running away with that one. You got a lot of things checked off in the positive direction in today's game, right? You got Trevor McGill into a game. You got Jared Koenig into a game. You got key work from guys off your bench like Luis Rengifo, and Brandon Lockridge had another game. Blake Perkins got into the game. He had a nice day at the plate. So a lot of things positive, not just the win and the dramatics, but that the Brewers had to make sure they got done in these first 3 games of the season. We can go down the box score here really quickly at the top of the program, then Craig will join us in a moment. But the Brewers, every starter but Caro had a hit in today's game. Caro still reached base with a walk, so everybody reached in the starting lineup. The only guy who didn't reach in this game that got into the game was actually Jake Bauers, who came into pinch hit in the middle portion of this contest. But 9 runs for the Brewers, all divvied up from 9 different guys. That's a rarity. Only 2 guys had multiple hits in this one. That's Gary and that's Brandon Lockridge. Only multiple RBIs for Rengifo, Gary, and Yelly. And then finally, the Brewers, they drew 7 more walks today. They continue to work tough counts. You know, in the words of Sal Frelick, this is kind of the motto of the team. Drag them with you. Drag them with you. Make the at-bats as miserable as possible for the opposing side. And the Brewers continue to do that all weekend long. And the bullpen deserves some praise, too, here at the top of the program for how great they were in this game, finishing the final 6 innings in shutout fashion with only 1 walk and also striking out 9 on their own. As Craig Kashan joins us now, I mean, the headline, though, today is Yelly, is the comeback, it is the offense. Let me give you the numbers here, Craig, is the fact that the Brewers last time that they had 3 wins last year when they were down by at least 5 runs, and they were 3 of the more signature wins of the season, right? They all made the top 10 games of the year countdown for me. The first was the sweep of the Mets, the Isaac Collins walk-off homer. Then you've got the epic down 8-1 against the Reds, where Yelly hit 2 homers in that game and win number 13 in a row. And then finally the game in St. Louis, the day the Brewers officially clinched a playoff spot when Andre Montecero hit a walk-off base hit in the bottom of the 10th. Those are the 3 wins last year, and the Brewers already get one here in the opening weekend. The comeback kids didn't have to wait till the second half to get their first signature win of the season.
Well, it was just remarkable, Dom. I've been saying this a couple of times here on the TV side. I don't remember a regular season game being this electric before, considering where we are. It is game 3, and it is still the month of March. And when Yelly was announced in the bottom of the 8th inning as the pinch hitter, I'm like, wow, did this crowd get prompted by the scoreboard and the ribbon bands to get loud and cheer and whatnot? None of that came about at all. They did it on their own. They understood what was going on, and they're cheering on one of the best guys in baseball because he's wearing a Brewer uniform, and he's been in these situations before. I mean, he was one of the highlights that you just mentioned from last year in the comebacks. He's been doing it for a long time. So remarkable stuff. This was just a really fun series as it turned out, and I think very few people saw this coming today.
Yeah, and for Yelly in particular, right, he was on the bench, a lefty starting on the other side for the White Sox. Murph admitted in the postgame he wanted to give Yelly the full day off, but he actually saw it coming a few innings early, saying, going up to Yelly, and I believe it was the 5th or 6th inning, he said, hey, the only reason I would use you is if we're trailing and if you're going to face Sir Anthony Dominguez. And, well, that's exactly what happened. And over on the television side, I thought Bill Schroeder broke down that at-bat brilliantly on Brewers TV because he pointed out the fact that on the 2-1 pitch, Yelly spoiled a really good sinker on the lower outside corner. He was late on it, and he spoils it, and he hits it over the third base dugout. Now, this is some inside baseball, some next level, some 300, 400 level stuff here, but this is what we talk about when we say reading swings, right? With the Brewers praise William Contreras doing so well as a catcher, this is something the White Sox did not do well, saying, well, the read of the swing there is that he's sitting on something off speed. He's hunting something softer. He reacts at the last possible moment to a well-located fastball. So the last thing you want to do, Craig, is throw him a splitter. Now, let alone hang that splitter right down the middle in Sir Anthony Dominguez's eyes. But that's an example of the little things going the Brewers' way and executing on your opponent's mistakes.
Yeah, and I mean, look, this is a team that can absolutely take advantage of that because they have the right people in place for it, and they have the people that have done it before. Look what this team has developed into now in Pat Murphy's 3rd year. I mean, they're built to do what we saw today, and it's key players and it's key moments like the bullpen completely shutting down this White Sox team who came out swinging and took advantage of some poor pitching by Sprout in his debut, as it turned out. But Dom, if the bullpen gives up, I think even a single run, I think that's a different ball game. The fact that Sprout gave up all 7 of his runs in the first 3 innings, and the bullpen made a statement. I think when you make that statement, to me, that's there are a lot of key moments in these comebacks and Yelich is going to get all the star power for it. But man, what the bullpen was able to do to top it off is just incredible stuff. I still say they give up even one run, I don't think they win this game.
I agree with that. And we'll talk more about the bullpen in a little bit. We'll also talk about some of the plays you might have forgotten about in this game because obviously, like you said, Yelly's the highlight of it all. But there were plays throughout this game that helped the Brewers mount this comeback. 855-616-1620. Again, 855-616-1620. Let's get to Mark from Milwaukee waiting on the phone lines. Mark, you're live here on Brewers Extra Innings.
Hi, guys. So what I got to say is, yes, thank you. What I got to say is, wow, what a bullpen, huh? And
Amen.
What an offense. And a couple of blips, but what a defense. The only thing I don't like, I don't know what Sprout is. And God, I don't want to see him again right now. I don't know what that's all about, but he should have been out of the game. I don't know. You don't give up 6 runs in 2 innings and make an impression that's good on any fan. And it doesn't matter that it's the 3rd game of the year, because when you lose by 1 game at the end of the year, that's what matters. Well, that's what we're talking about right here. We're talking about the guy might be good. I don't know. I don't think so. He didn't show me anything today. The rest of the team showed me everything. And I think that's a good sign. I think what we saw on offense is a team that will not give up. Yelich, God, I hope he's healthy. He's sure looking good. And this is going to be a good team this year offensively. I know we lost Freddie, but we've got other pitchers back now. So I think we're going to do pretty good. What do you think?
I agree, Mark. I appreciate the call there. And on the front of the offense being pretty good, I mean, I kind of laid my claim to it saying leaving spring training, Craig, I just thought this team was better than last year's team, both on paper and how they performed. I just like what this organization has done with the offseason. I know some people see it maybe as a little cloudy during the offseason. Like, what are they trading? Freddie, you're trading Isaac Collins, you're trading Nick. What are you doing? And now I sit here and I look back and I look at the whole of the offseason and I get it. I get every single move, even Brandon Sproat today. We'll talk about him in the next segment, but I look at it, I'm like, every move they make makes perfect sense now in hindsight. Now, granted, they win this game with 9 runs without Andrew Vaughn and Jackson Chourio because they're both on the injured list, right? That's how much this team can absorb that because they're a better team than they were last year.
Well, one of the first things this team built was depth, and that has been just increasing in value over the last several years. And you don't win games like this and still stay on top of your division. They've had all the injuries. They either happen at the beginning of the year, the middle of the year, or the end of the year, and sometimes they happen all the time. And you just have to have the depth to get through it. And they've proven that they've been able to do that. And what we saw today, I still go back to the fact that so many of these guys have returned from a year ago. And once again, I think nobody is counting on the Brewers to do anything. I think that's all clear at the beginning of the year with all the prognosticators and whatnot. And I think the Brewers can say out loud that stuff doesn't bother them, but you can't tell me it doesn't motivate teams. You got to take some of that and use it as motivation and prove to the world you are better than who you think that we are. That's for sure. And this was just a classic game in doing so. And it was a good series sweep. I said after the opener on Thursday, they really got to get a sweep out of this. I mean, the White Sox right now are a team that you can do this against. They don't know how to win yet. They are still learning that. And this comeback today, to me, was proof of that on the flip side, that the Brewers do know all of that right now because they've got guys who have been through the ringer several years in a row now. So just a good all-around win.
Amen to that. The Brewers get the victory 9-7, 855-616-1620, 855-616-1620. Also the YouTube live chat if you're joining us there. Take our first break, back with more with Craig after this on your home of the Brewers, 620 WTMJ.
WTMJ, W277CV, and WKTI HD2 Milwaukee from the Annex Wealth Management Studios. This is News Radio WTMJ, a Good Karma brand station.
Join the Brewers series against the White Sox March 26th, 28th, and 29th. Grab this year's first giveaway on Saturday the 28th, a replica of American Family Field for the first 25,000 fans, courtesy of American Family Insurance. On the 29th, it's Kids Cheer Free. Buy an adult terrace seat and receive a free ticket for kids ages 14 and under. On Sunday the 29th, the first 5,000 kids get a drip necklace giveaway. Grab your seats at brewers.com/tickets.
Before you go looking for an area rug that you'll have to settle for because you think that the one you really want will be out of your budget, come to Design Exchange, where you'll find a formidable selection of Oriental, Persian, and other wool area rug choices at 25 to 70% off retail. This is Katie with Design Exchange, where discerning buyers with discriminating tastes come to find premium home decor on consignment at a value. Design Exchange in Heartland and Pewaukee.
Design Exchange.
If you're trying to find really good, high-end, distinctive furniture, the kind they just don't make anymore, then come to Design Exchange. But you better get here quickly, because the best furniture we take in on consignment doesn't usually last long. It may be vintage, it may have once been out of your range, but now you'll find it's priced right. This is Katie with Design Exchange, where discerning buyers with discriminating tastes come to find premium home decor at a value.
Design Exchange.
Prizes, flyaways, even cash money. You want it? We've got it. Find a list of all contests and official rules by visiting WTMJ.com/contests.
That's WTMJ.com/contests. This is Brewers Extra Innings on WTMJ.
It's a victory for the Crew, and it's a sweep to open the season. Welcome in. I'm Dom Cotroneo. Quick little who's hot, who's cold. And it's brought to you by Cider Heating, Plumbing, and Electrical. Spring's almost here, and for a limited time at Cider Heating, Plumbing, and Electrical, you can get a free AC system with the purchase of a new gas furnace. Stay comfortable year-round, but hurry, spots are limited. Call today or visit cider.com. That's SEIDER.com to schedule your appointment. Now, let's get it out of the way on who's cold. Brandon Sproat did not make the first impression he wanted to, as you heard the caller Mark say. But let me remind folks about another player I want to point out that did not have the start that maybe people wanted. Now, I'm not saying this was his first game, because actually the name I want to point out had a handful of good appearances his first 3 games, but then things started to come off the wheels, specifically on a game on May 2nd against the Cubs. You may pick up where I'm going here, Craig, and that is one Quinn Priester. Quinn Priester had a 5.79 ERA in his first 5 games as a Brewer last year, including kind of the everything goes wrong in that 10-0 shutout loss against the Cubs last year when everyone was walking out of the stadium thinking, oh boy, here we go. And then, well, it all worked out A-okay. So I know Brandon Sproat did not pitch well today. 3 homers, 4 walks. That is not on the MO. I see from Sproat just a little bit of scatterbrain, a little bit of high energy, trying to make the perfect pitch. We can use, easy eye test stuff here. It's not like what I see from Sproat, it's not like he was getting beat with his best stuff or he was locating his pitches and he was still giving up singles or anything like that. No, Brandon Sproat did not pitch well today. He knows that. You know that too. And I want to see that get corrected before we actually assess his performance. He did not pitch well. That can be fixed.
Absolutely. And look, they didn't go after him to think he might pitch well. They went after him because they know he will pitch well, and everyone's going to take their bumps and bruises. This was his 5th big league start. That's the other thing. Some of the people listening and that last caller, this was his 5th big league start. And I've seen guys like Giovanni Gallardo, Freddie Peralta, Willie Peralta. I could keep going down the list when they were really young in their first really full year in the majors, get absolutely hammered in some of these games. But some of the differences in this one, Dom, and you talk about doing the eyeball test. What do you think Pat Murphy went out to talk to Sprout about when he chose to be the one instead of Hookie going out there to talk to him? He did his manager's best to settle him down, at least trying to. And if nothing else, he has to let this guy know, get through this, because you got an offense that's hungry and it's really early in the game. You got to keep us in the game here right now. You're doing just fine. Things are going to work out. It's those type of messages that guys need to hear. Now, did he give up another run or two after that? Yes, he did, but it just wasn't his day today. But I think this is going to be a blip on the radar for what is to come here. I really believe that. Otherwise, this team wouldn't have him in the starting rotation here right now. He deserves to have a chance right now.
Yeah, it's not how you start, it's how you finish. He's not going to learn anything of how to get big league hitters out in AAA, which is why he's here right now, only making his 5th start in the show. And I thought the moment that really kind of set it off the rails, and you mentioned that mound visit, that was after the 5th run, or rather the 6th run, had scored in the 2nd inning after the RBI single from Colson Montgomery. But the reason why that 2nd inning, I think, was more frustrating than the first, because the first, it was pretty simple way to assess it. Walk, bloop single. I know Perkins misread it, but it was still a bloop single. It was going to be a hard play for him to make. And then grand slam. It was over in the blink of an eye. The 2nd inning, it was bases empty, 2 outs after a nifty double play that we're all already forgetting about by Joey Ortiz and Bryce Terang. That's a candidate for double play of the year right there. But then to go homer, single, to allow 2 more runs to score, that's where it's like, okay, hey, you had a chance to get out of this frame despite allowing a leadoff walk. Doing a little too much. In the words of Pat Murphy, squeeze the egg too tight, and now you got yolk all over you.
Yeah, really, really good point about that 2nd inning, because that is absolutely true. I even said something to Tim Dillard, my partner on the TV side, and I said, this is all with 2 outs and nobody on. What is going on here? This just can't happen. However, it did, and he still had to fight through it, and they left him in the game still for that 3rd inning. And, these are big-time learning moments, and another great point you brought up too. He's done with AAA. He's not going to learn how to get major league hitters out at that level anymore. So if he's got to take some bumps, hopefully those bumps aren't going to be, as severe as what we saw here today. It's great that the team got the win, but you also can't expect the team to come back every time he's out there if this continues. But it's his first start as a Brewer. I think he's going to be fine.
I agree. I think he'll be fine. But the who's hot end of this segment is the bullpen, because him getting through that 3rd inning was sneaky important to make sure that you started this run of arms in the way that you could max it out. Now, you're getting 2 innings out of Grant Anderson, who very quietly had 3 strikeouts today. I think he's one of the more underrated arms on this team. Jared Koenig striking out the side against Mydroth and Murakami. He did something that a lot of Brewers haven't been able to do, and retire Murakami. That was super important. Jake Woodford, acquired earlier this week in kind of like really head-scratching fashion. Like, they're making a trade and right here at the start of on opening day, and well, he throws 2 scoreless innings. The bullpen, again, handing the ball to McGill for the 9th is the whole reason that they were able even to be in that position, because 6 innings, no runs, just 2 hits, and 9 strikeouts as a unit.
Well, and two, you look at this series with the bullpen, Dom. I don't have the exact numbers in front of me, but I'm pretty sure the bullpen was summoned in each game in the 4th or 5th inning. And I think in all 3 games, I don't think they gave up any more than 2 runs total
1
after
earned
all those
run.
efforts. 1 earned run. I mean, man, what they did today was kind of a capper and cherry on top for the series in this one. So they deserve to get the win. They deserve to get really a lot of the credit for this comeback here, because this comeback doesn't happen if they give up anything, in my opinion.
14 2/3 this opening weekend, 25 strikeouts, 6 walks, 1 solo homer by Munetaka Murakami on opening day. It was the only run that this bullpen allowed against the White Sox. That is really impressive stuff for the Crew today. Now, I want to go and shift gears into the actual game itself because there's a handful of plays that I just kind of want to riff with you here, Craig, before we let you go. We'll take a quick breather, come back with more on the plays that you forgot about. We talked about the double play earlier in the second inning, but there were still runs that scored after it. What else are you already forgetting about this classic of a 9-7 victory over the White Sox? Back after this on your home of the Brewers, 620 WTMJ.
Peace of mind starts with a name you can trust. Cider Heating, Plumbing, and Electrical has been family-owned and operated since 1912, serving residential and commercial customers with dependable, expert care. From heating and cooling to plumbing and electrical, they're your one-stop shop for it all. It's experience built over generations that sets them apart. And with 24/7 emergency service, they're always ready when you need them most. No matter the job, big or small, you can rely on their team to get it done right. For comfort you can count on, visit cider.com.
So I was talking with another real estate agent who has been in the business even longer than I have, with a couple of other big-name companies. He was talking about how it's tough to compete with us because we have good agents and we charge less commission. And he even said that he lost a few listings to us, and it always bothered him because he realized that he was doing everything that we were doing, but he was charging more. We do charge less, and we do everything that a full-service agency does. Because we are full-service real estate agents. The only difference is we give you our very best commission rate up front. You do pay for what you get. And with Century 21 Benefit Realty for 1.9% on the listing side of your home, with a cap of $19,000 commission on any size home, you can get full-service experienced agents, MLS marketing, professional photos, even virtual walkthroughs, and everything you get from any other big-name agent, all under the umbrella of the Century 21 brand. This is Angela Calais with Century 21 Benefit Realty, benefit-realty.com, where you pay less for full service. Each office is independently owned and operated.
Good Karma Brands is proud to be an equal opportunity employer, providing equal employment, development, and advancement opportunities to all teammates and applicants. To learn more about careers with us, please send an email to talentacquisition@goodkarmabrands.com. That's talentacquisition@goodkarmabrands.com.
This is Brewers Extra Innings on WTMJ.
Brewers get a victory, 9-7. It's a sweep. Appreciate everyone listening, hanging out. Brewers win. They get ready for the Rays this week. I'm Dominic Cotroneo. One more segment with Craig Kashan here. A couple of texts that have rolled in. Alex from Oshkosh won the series, swept the White Sox. What a pinch hit nuke that was for Yelich. How sweep it is. This one from Aaron in Illinois. Didn't think I would be hearing Metallica blaring on the way in, but they pulled it off. The bullpen is my player of the game. No-brainer, 29 runs in 3 games. I know it's the Sox, but Churio and Vaughn out too. I love the idea of bringing Caro up. Jenny from Vernon. Great to have you back here on the program, Jenny. Great comeback, just wowed. Murph is a managing genius. He has baseball intelligence enough to know that you do need to leave Sproat out there, just like he did with Miz in his growing pains early in his year. Now, I have 3 or 4 plays here I just want to point out to you, Craig Kashan, of just things we've already forgotten about that would make a normal postgame show if it wasn't for that epic 8th inning. Now, a couple of these are in the 8th inning. First, I want to point out, though, in the 5th inning, setting the scene. Runner on first, 2 outs, and this is like blaring, 2 outs and a runner on first. Everson Pereira hits a line drive into the left center field gap. Again, 2 outs. So Montgomery at first, who is not a fast runner, is able to go on the crack of the bat. And Blake Perkins cut that ball off to make sure that Pereira not only is held to a single, but Montgomery is held to third, and then Anderson would get out of that inning without another run scored.
Yeah, I mean, that's a great call right there because, again, you're talking about what it takes, out of the bullpen to get the job done, and now you've got smart defenders behind you. And I'll also say this, another hidden point that leads into this, Dom, when you have a starting pitcher that's getting basically hammered early in the game, the Brewer defense wasn't real crisp behind him there, but that happens when you have your starting pitcher going through that scenario. Now we're mid-game, the point that you're bringing up here, and the defense is really starting to tighten up very nicely here, so that's a good call.
I loved what Blake Perkins was able to do later in this game, too. He hit the ball like 106 on his double as well. That came with 2 strikes to lead off the 5th inning. The little things on defense tend to add up at the end of the game, and if you make more good plays than bad, you're generally going to win. Another one of those defensive plays that I think we also have kind of glanced over, situation is nobody out, runner on first. That's Benintendi on first. And Pereira, again, lines one toward the right field corner, and Sal Frelick makes a great lunging catch to rob extra bases up against the wall. That would have probably wouldn't have scored a run, but at worst it would have been second and third and nobody out. Instead, Benintendi has to retreat, and then Woodford's able to get a 4-6-3 double play to the next batter. That is a great Gold Glove caliber play from Sal Frelick.
Yeah, it really was. And I thought Sal just, the second half of the ball game, he had, that big hustle double in the 6th inning, drew that big walk in the 8th inning that, again, extended that even after Yelich's home run. But just big at-bats and then big plays in the outfield in this game. And he almost had a home run robbing catch as well. Early in that game against Murakami, but it didn't work out his way there. But look, Sal can bring you back with those type of efforts like that because everybody understands that's what it takes.
The last 2 plays I have highlighted here both came in the 8th inning to set up that great rally for Christian Yelich. The first one was Blake Perkins' walk there against the lefty Murphy because he was ahead in the count 3-1. He had a close pitch called a strike for 3-2. And this is where we use the motto from Pat Murphy, meeting the game halfway. Here's Blake Perkins, who made a mistake earlier in the game. He hit a double, though. He's had 2 strikes in all of his at-bats. He's probably still dealing with the reality that, hey, I got sent down to AAA, but then I had to come right back because Churio got injured. Dealing with all that mentally, and he meets the game halfway and realizes, know what? I'm not the tying run. I need to get aboard. And he draws a walk. And that set the stage for the next play I highlighted. Bryce Terang wasting no time, left on left, just hitting a single. Yeah, it could have been cool to be the guy that ties the game with a grand slam. That's not what the game called for in that situation. That's not what the pitch he got was. He got a pitch that he could go the other way with, get a clean single, and keep the line moving. Those 2 at-bats back-to-back, a tough 6-pitch walk, and then an ambush single to bring home a run is Brewers baseball to a T.
Absolutely, and you got Blake Perkins and Bryce Terang, those 2 guys right there. They may still seem young to us, but they are now veteran pros, and they know what to do. They know how to get the job done here right now. Just drawing a walk, and, passing the baton, as you say. And then Bryce Terang, he knows what his spot is. He's at the top of the order right now. That RBI, by the way, was his first of the season, and we have talked about him mightily in his attributes in all 3 of these games here so far. But when you're at the top of the order, you don't get to drive in a lot of runs. But when you're in that situation, man, he came through.
And the last thing I want to make on Bryce Terang, and I know Luis Rengifo had a clutch 2-run single up the middle, too. I'm not ignoring him, but I think you kind of remember that more because it set up the chance for Yelly. But the point that I want to make about Bryce, and then I'll let you go, Craig, is the fact that if I told you in 2023 that in a couple of years, Bryce Terang not only would be leading off, but he'd be leading off against a left-handed starting pitcher on the other side. Because in 2023, he only had 73 plate appearances against lefties. He hit a .188 with an OPS under 500. Now, fast forward to last year, he hit .305 against lefties with a .752 OPS. And, of course, the whole reason he got to face that lefty Murphy there is because Will Venable's like, well, this is my platoon. This is my last batter that he's going to face. I got to play the percentages because at this point, Terang's 0 for 4. 3 of those at-bats coming against the lefty. Terang makes him pay. He shows the development in real time.
Yeah, that's a great stat just to go back. You're only going back 2 or 3 years, and that was a slow progress too of letting the club, that confidence just started to build with Bryce Terang. And now, now they're intentionally bringing in nobody can get this guy out. It seems he just has everything down. So just a great job. He's solidifying his role at the top of the order for this club right now. And, all these runs we're talking about too, final note, think about this. 8 of the 9 RBIs that the Brewers had in this game were with 2 outs. So, and that's from Sanchez's home run in the first inning until the last home run in the 8th inning that finally secured a lead for them. So, I mean, it's just, again, another example of clutch that this team just continues to do.
Craig Kashan, appreciate you to be back in the fold as well. We'll talk to you sometime next week. I know you're off for the Rays series, and good to have you back here on WTMJ, my friend.
Okay, Dom, a fun one today, no doubt about it.
9-7, the victory today for the Brewers. Let's relive it coming up next. Highlights on the other side of this break on your home of the Brewers, 620 WTMJ.
So if you're looking to install a new glass shower door, you're going to want to see selection. The more you see, the better choice you can make. And that's why our store is loaded with 20 different glass shower door options. And what sets Less's Glass apart is that you're going to have somebody close by for help who's been here for years and years to ask them questions and get reliable answers. Now, no one's going to be hounding you, but when you need an answer, you're not going to have to search around. One thing you can count on at Less's Glass is that there will always be a member of our staff here with decades of experience. And that matters, because how many times have you been at the big box home improvement store, walking around trying to find someone who can actually answer your questions? This is Stacy Sinks. If it's a new glass shower door, fogged or broken insulated glass replacement, or affordable glass and mirror home decor that you've been looking for, you just can't pass on Less's Glass. Less's Glass Service, serving all of southeastern Wisconsin. Find us at lessglassservice.com.
If you're looking to upgrade your bath or shower, Abbey Home can do it all in one day. We pull all the permits, tear everything down to the studs, and leave you with a beautiful lifetime warranted system that's turnkey. Grab bars, a seat, new fixtures, and a shower door. Right now, get 50% off installation with Abbey Home. And if somebody asks you if you know a guy in the business, you can say no, but I know a girl. Go to abbeyhome.com today. Or give us a call, 414-436-ABBY. That's 414-436-2229.
In the Gospel of Matthew, Jesus says, "I will strike the shepherd, and the sheep of the flock will be dispersed." At this point in Lent, how is it going? This is Archbishop Jeffrey Grob. So many of us feel fractured, pulled in different directions by the worries of daily life. As Easter draws near, we're invited to pause and ask, have these weeks helped us become more centered? Have we allowed God to lead us and to use us as instruments of His work? Or are we still scattered? Join us at Mass. Come and be gathered.
Hey everybody, it's WTMJ's Debbie Lazaga for Access Legal. I see firsthand how hard Wisconsin workers push themselves. From the construction crews on the roads I monitor every day to the countless jobs that strain the body over time. For many, that wear and tear turns into real pain. My friends at Access Legal understand what you're going through and they want to help. Their team has recovered more than $35 million for Wisconsin workers and will fight for the benefits you're entitled to as well. Worn down by work? Contact Access Legal for a risk-free consultation. That's AXIS Legal.
This is Brewers Extra Innings on WTMJ.
Brewers get a victory, 3-0 on the season, the only team in the division to be 3-0. I'm Dominic Cotroneo. Thanks for joining us. We'll go into the top of the hour. You're going to get the highlights here. We're going to hear from Christian Yelich, and we're going to hear from Pat Murphy. So a lot less from me and more from the guys you want to hear from in this game. Let's get you caught up with what happened with the highlight recap.
Ready for this? This?
Brought it back! Ho, ho, ho!
And this?
It is done!
Time for tonight's highlights.
Brewers and White Sox. Right-hander Brandon Sproat making his Brew Crew debut with a whole rookie battery. Jefferson Caro making his big league debut behind the plate against the southpaw Anthony Kay for the White Sox. However, this was all Chicago early. It's 4 batters in, and it's 4-0 Chicago. A grand slam from Colson Montgomery after back-to-back walks and a bloop single. Chicago out in front. However, the Brewers did avoid that key shutdown inning, punching right back in the bottom of the first.
He brings home the pitch, and Gary, a fly ball left field. This is deep. Benintendi back. Bye-bye baseball. The Kraken strikes in the bottom of the first. 4-2 Chicago.
All right, so that made you feel like you're in this. This is going to be one of those back and forth type games. Well, the narrator jumps in and says, no, it was not, because then the White Sox scored 2 more in the second, a solo homer from Munetaka Murakami, and then an RBI single from Colson Montgomery, another in the third on a solo homer from Everson Pereira, and he added all up for Sproat. His Brewers debut was 3 innings, 6 hits, 7 runs, all of them earned, 4 walks and 3 homers to go with his 3 strikeouts. So the Brewers had a long way to climb back to try to get him off the hook. But the bullpen was keeping things where it was. Still a 7-2 score, Brewers trailing by 5 in the 6th. An RBI single by Brandon Lockridge, making things a little more interesting. Now down by 4. Nothing doing in the 7th for the Crew. In the 8th, a rally starts to form. A single up the middle by Joey Ortiz to start the frame. With 1 out, Lockridge managed an infield single that put men on first and second. Blake Perkins draws a walk that loads the bases for Bryce Terang.
Looks in, bases full of Brewers. Murphy's first pitch is a line drive into left. It's down for a base hit. Ortiz will score. They'll hold Lockridge at third. It is 7-4 White Sox.
All right, still just a 1 out in the inning. And the go-ahead run coming to the plate. The trumpets are blaring. It's William Contreras, and he pops out. Infield fly, second out of the inning. Now it's the new guy, Luis Rengifo. Switch hitter now switches over to hit it from the left side, which is arguably his worst side. He works a heck of a battle from 2-2 to 3-2. The most Brewersy way, a 7-pitch battle goes his way.
And a full count, 3 balls and 2 strikes on Rengifo. Doesn't get much bigger than this. Here's the pitch, ground ball back up the middle, into center field, a base hit. 1 run is in. Around third is Perkins. He will score. It is 7-6 White Sox. Here come the Brewers in the 8th.
Then the energy shifts. No one comes out to the on-deck circle. Instead, it's 22. Christian Yelich coming straight from the dugout. The needle drop for his walk-up song. The crowd roars, chanting Yelly, and he delivers.
Here's the 2-2 pitch. Yelich, a high drive, deep right, down the line, fair, and gone! Christian Yelich, a 3-run blast. And the Brewers have come all the way back in the 8th inning. It is 9-7 Crew.
Lane Grindle's calls here all over the program. They have the lead, so they hand the ball to their all-star closer, Trevor McGill.
The 0-1 to Vargas. Fly ball right field. This is hit towards the track. Back on it is Frelick, but he's got room. Makes the catch, and this ball game is over. The Brewers come all the way from behind this afternoon and erase a 7-2 deficit, winning it 9-7 thanks to their captain Christian Yelich's 3-run home run in the 8th inning. They win it 9-7 here today. They sweep the White Sox, and they're a perfect 3-0 to start the 2026 season.
How about it? The Rays come to town next. We'll hear from Christian Yelich and from Pat Murphy in just a moment. The final lines in this one. The Brewers, 9 runs on 11 hits, no errors. They left 9 runners on base. The White Sox, 7 runs on 9 hits, also no errors. They only left 5 runners on base. It took 3 hours, 7 minutes. 32,737 were here at American Family Field. Yelly coming up next on 620 WTMJ.
Buying or selling a home isn't just a transaction. It's one of life's biggest decisions.
That's why clarity, trust, and the right guidance matter, especially in an ever-changing market.
I'm Tony Wendorf with Tony Wendorf & Associates, powered by Keller Williams.
I'm John Lorenz.
And I'm Taylor Mangini. Our team delivers a white glove experience at every price point, combining expert negotiation, local insight, and genuine care.
Get started today with a team you can trust at wendorfteam.kw.com.
Tony Wendorf & Associates.
Driven by faith, gratitude, and results.
Carpal tunnel syndrome, heart failure that doesn't improve with common medicines. These are some signs and symptoms associated with ATTR-CM, or the cardiomyopathy of ATTR amyloidosis, a serious heart condition with symptoms that get worse over time. Amvuttra vutrisiran is a prescription medicine given by a healthcare provider that treats ATTR-CM in adults to reduce heart-related death, hospital stays, and urgent visits. In a clinical study, Amvuttra was proven to help people live longer and have fewer heart-related hospital stays and urgent visits over 3 years compared to placebo. Amvuttra lowers the amount of vitamin A in your blood, which can affect vision. Other side effects include pain in the arms or legs, pain in the joints, and shortness of breath. These are not all the possible side effects of Amvuttra. For prescribing information, call 1-833-256-2748 or learn more at amvuttra.com. Ask your doctor about Amvuttra for ATTR-CM.
True luxury is the absence of worry. It begins the moment you settle into your seat with Delta Vacations and continues as you step onto the polished teak decks of a Holland America ship. Whether you're chasing the northern lights or the Mediterranean sun, Fox World Travel anticipates every detail so you can simply savor the journey. Stop managing the logistics and start making memories. Call 866-GO-FOX-GO or visit foxworldtravel.com to elevate your travel today.
This is Brewers Extra Innings on WTMJ.
Buy or sell on Brewers Extra Innings is brought to you by Tony Wendorf and Associates. If you're looking to buy or sell a home, trust Tony Wendorf and Associates, one of the top real estate teams in Wisconsin. Powered by Keller Williams, they bring faith, family, and a red carpet experience to every home deal. Step up to the plate with a winning team behind you. WendorfTeam.kw.com. What I'm buying right now is, again, what I'm looking at is Christian Yelich. We talked about the stats in yesterday's postgame that he is a notorious slow starter, but to see him hit a ball 111 off the bat today on a hanging splitter, continue to buy and understand this is going to be a long season. In the words of Andy Haynes, former Brewers hitting coach, one of Yelly's guys that he really loved working with, of saying, it takes a long time to have a good season, and it takes a long time to have a bad season. So 3 games in, certainly great to have some results. Christian Yelich caught up postgame with Josh Mauer.
Christian Yelich joins us after that game-winning home run at the beginning of the Potawatomi Casino Hotel postgame show. Yelly, what a moment. Thanks so much for sticking around to chat with us.
You got it, guys. Thank you.
Tell me about that swing.
Yeah, I mean, I was just trying to put a good swing on something, in that situation. We had the tying run on third base, so I was just trying to hit something hard, have a good at-bat. Homer was the farthest thing from my mind, but kind of just got a mistake pitch up and, ended up being a homer.
It's not an easy thing to do, to sit on the bench for almost 3 hours and then come up in a spot where the game is essentially on the line. What was your mentality when you got the call from Pat Murphy that you were going to go up and face Sir Anthony Dominguez there?
Yeah, I mean, it's one of those days, if you don't start the game, you know that a situation like that's always a possibility, so you kind of spend the whole part of the game just getting yourself prepared and ready for that, taking swings in the cage, making sure you're getting loose in the weight room, staying locked in with the game, following the spots where, you might hit because it happens fast, and you can get up there, in a situation quickly. So you want to make sure that you're ready to go and prepared. And, I was talking to, Murph and Lehner throughout the game, like, hey, this might be a spot, that might be a spot. And then, guys put a ton of great at-bats together earlier in that inning to even allow me to be in that spot. And I was kind of able to just finish it off there at the end.
You lead me perfectly into the next question I was going to ask. The fact that it felt actually like such a 2025 Brewers game where you just kept pecking away, didn't always capitalize, but kept giving yourselves opportunities offensively, and then finally the big 6-run 8th inning. Do you feel those similarities from last season to this over the first 3 games of this year, as we all do as we watch you guys play?
Yeah, I mean, I don't know. It's a new year, but I will say we got a lot of the same guys together that were a part of last year, and throughout the whole game, even when we got down early, we were talking about, like, hey, we'll be fine. We're in this. We're going to win this game still. Like, let's just, get ourselves back in this thing one at a time, 2 at a time, just, make them feel us a little bit. And that was the whole team talking like that, and it took us a little while. It took us till the 8th inning, but we were able to put ourselves in the position to tie the game or go ahead. And it was just a lot of quality at bats, giving ourselves opportunities, like you said. We didn't cash them in as much early in the game, but we kept putting the pressure there and knew that eventually, we were going to get a shot to tie the game or go ahead, and that's exactly what we did.
9-7 Brewers. Christian Yelich with his first career pinch hit home run joins us after the game-winning swing. You guys scored 29 runs in the series, Yelly. That is a great way, obviously. You don't need me to tell you to start a season. What clicked? If you could put your finger on a thing or two from the offense as you saw not only yourself, but it felt like 1 through 9 in the lineup this series.
I think it's just honestly simple of just having tough at bats. Just making yourself be a difficult out. Even if you do get out, make sure that the other team feels you a little bit, and it wasn't an easy out, and they had to earn it, and prolong at bats, take your walks, just continue to put pressure on the other team and give yourself scoring opportunities. And I thought we did a great job of that throughout the series, and we were able to cash a lot of them in and just apply pressure throughout the series.
I think one of the things that you're so good at, Yelly, is keeping things in the proper perspective that they deserve. Mm-hmm. But I just wonder, when you recall last year's opening series in New York and then compare that to this year's, what are your thoughts?
Yeah, I mean, it's a really long season, and how we started last year, even when we came home in the home opener and lost that one by, I think it was like 10 also, it was just like, hey, we still got a really long way to go, and, the season and the story is not really written yet for this team. I think last year we were pretty banged up. We had a lot of injuries. We got some guys hurt this year too, but it's just trying to make sure that you stay present, you stay in the current day, and focus on trying to win that day, because it's March right now, but these games are all going to add up and they're all going to count at the end of September when we're trying to do something special. And you kind of go about the season like that, just like focus on one day at a time. Don't get caught up in the big picture of what happened before, what you have ahead of you. Just try to do everything you can to come out on top that day and keep it in a good perspective.
Appreciate you so much. Congratulations, Christian.
You got it. Thank you, guys.
All right, good to hear from Yelly and from Josh. Our thanks to those two for the interview. Now we'll take a breather, and we'll hear from the manager, Pat Murphy, after the break here on 620 WTMJ.
I'm Boomer Esiason. My mom died from cancer. She was only 37 years old. She didn't have life insurance, and that was devastating for my family. That's why having life insurance is so important to me. Ethos makes it fast and easy. Get a quote in seconds, apply in minutes, and get same-day coverage. You can get up to $3 million in coverage with no medical exam.
Get your free quote at ethos.com/save. That's ethos.com/save. Paid spokesperson. Time spent on application may vary. Online health questions required.
It's tax season, and by now, I know you're a bit tired of the numbers, but here's an important one you need to hear. $16 billion. That's how much money in refunds the IRS flagged for possible identity fraud. Not all grim news. LifeLock monitors millions of data points per second for your personal information and alerts you to threats that you could easily miss on your own. If your identity is stolen, LifeLock's U.S.-based restoration specialist is going to fix it. Save up to 40% off your first year with the promo code BECK, 1-800-LifeLock or lifelock.com. Terms to apply.
We demand a lot of our shoulders and hands, our hips and knees, our backs and feet. They do life's heavy lifting, so we owe them the greatest attention in return. The Froedtert and the Medical College of Wisconsin Health Network provides expert orthopedic and spine care to help you move, lift, turn, and reach with the most possible ease. Whether you have a sports-related injury or a nagging condition that just won't go away, excellence should always be an option. So we make our care available in nearby locations and offer same-day ortho and spine appointments when relief can't wait. It's how to recover quicker, prevent small concerns from becoming big ones, and solve complex issues with the expertise you can only get with academic medicine. We're given just one body, so let's tend to it, check in on it. Let's give it the greatest of care, because when it's tuned up and injury-free, we can always be pushing ahead. To learn more about our nationally recognized orthopedic and spine care, visit froedtert.com/ortho.
Artwork, especially original artwork, can be pricey. But when you take it in on consignment from nice people like you, who are just ready to change the look of their home, you can price it right. And you'll find a lot of it at Design Exchange. Beautiful frame pieces by a number of notable artists. And new ones pop in all the time. This is Katie with Design Exchange, where discerning buyers with discriminating tastes come to find premium home decor at a value. In Heartland and Pewaukee.
Design Exchange.
Now these tend to fly off the shelves. But don't worry, because our connection supplies us with a lot of them. Vintage ceiling tiles from once great old buildings in New York City that make for ultra-unique artwork. These items are definitely hard to find from anywhere else around here. So come take a look, and you'll probably find a treasure. This is Katie with Design Exchange, where discerning buyers with discriminating tastes come to find premium home decor at a value. In Heartland and Pewaukee.
Design Exchange.
Spice up your workday at the original Botanas on 5th Street. Enjoy a flavorful and affordable lunch, including authentic Mexican favorites, seafood and vegetarian dishes, and fish fry every day. Enjoy a free cup of soup with every meal. Mi casa es su casa at Botanas.
Church and Chapel Funeral Homes. Dignified services with less expensive fees compared to other fine funeral homes. Church and Chapel Funeral Homes. There's one near you.
This is Brewers Extra Innings on WTMJ.
Heard plenty from me. Let's hear from Pat Murphy after a come-from-behind victory down by 5 at one point to claim a sweep over the White Sox.
Yelich has been around, but he's not pinch hit a ton because he's always in the lineup. How challenging are those spots for a guy who's just not used to that?
Pinch hitting in the big leagues, I mean, just look at the numbers. I mean, it's very, very difficult, but Yelly went up there with, with the confidence of his 12 years behind him and knowing that, hey, you know what? I know what this requires, and, he's battling every pitch. That's why he's a great leader. And when things like this happen, he gets those results. You just appreciate him all the more.
What about the emotion he showed on that, too? We don't see that much from him.
Yeah, I mean, he's not swinging at his best. You know what I mean? He's gotten some results early, but his spring training was as tough as one as he has, and he hurts over it. He cares so much, and if people knew how much it affected him and how much he wants to play great, that's what makes you so happy for him, But he was the star, but there's so many stars in this game. I mean, there was Terang's big hit there in the 8th and Rengifo's hit in the 8th, just Gary Sanchez's homer early. Frelick's double, we score a run. Ortiz's huge base hit that started off and we score. Carroll making his appearance, rookie, first game ever, and handling the game the way he did. 2 successful ABS challenges. Lockridge's big hit. Perkins swinging the bat the way he did. Big double. What can you say? I mean, the bullpen was 6 innings of shutout, and you got Anderson, Koenig, Woodford, and then McGill. But, Woodford especially. Koenig threw the ball really good. Anderson did a great job, but Woodford, here, a guy we just picked up, be able to throw 2 shutout innings. That was great. So, defensive play by Ortiz early in the game to turn that double play. That was special. Terang made some plays on the other side of the bag. Rengifo had a couple line drives caught. Gary Sanchez, big homer, and did a great job catching a couple innings. How many games in Brewer 11 years have we used 3 catchers behind the dish? I'm saying 0.
Gotta be 0. Emergency catcher.
I'm saying 0.
We always talk about the emergency catcher, and then we never see one.
Yeah, William was the emergency today.
Or if we talked pregame, asked you how you sum up the offense when it's right. Is the 8th inning that where it's kind of piecing a lot together? The Perkins at bat, the Rengifo at bat.
Yeah, and Perk's at bats were great today. His first game starting, and that was huge. Lockridge beating that ball out, huge.
Just little things that continue to add up in the Brewers' favor as they get this victory today. You have to have good things go your way and do, the dirty work, right? Just sort of making sure that you're playing the game the right way, as Yelly always leads by example. I thought it was very interesting. If you're listening to pregame today, you heard Spencer Allen talk about how easy it is for him to sell the importance of base running when their best base runner is their best player, Christian Yelich. And, leading by example of doing the little things well is why this Brewers team continues to shock people for some reason of why they're such a quality team to face. Now, they have this oddity in the schedule where they're facing 6 of their first 7 series against American League teams, so they actually won't prove it within the division until the end of April when they visit the Pirates. I believe that's right. Yeah, they will go to Pittsburgh, or host Pittsburgh, I should say, the 24th, 25th, and 26th. That is going to just about do it for our weekend here. Thanks for joining us. Tell your friends. Our post-game shows are podcasted, so you can always find them, Brewers All Access, wherever you get your podcasts. I'll be with you tomorrow as well for Brewers Extra Innings. Rays coming to town, and the Brewers debut of Kyle Harrison getting the ball against a familiar foe in Nick Martinez. First pitch is scheduled for 6:40 tomorrow evening, also 6:40 on Tuesday, and then the 12:40 on Wednesday. That will do it for us tonight. Our producer has been Matt Yazel. I'm Dom Cotroneo. Until next time, keep on swinging.
Join the Brewers series against the White Sox March 26th, 28th, and 29th. Grab this year's first giveaway on Saturday the 28th, a replica of American Family Field for the first 25,000 fans, courtesy of American Family Insurance. On the 29th, it's Kids Cheer Free. Buy an adult terrace seat and receive a free ticket for kids ages 14 and under. On Sunday the 29th, the first 5,000 kids get a